Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing some Infinite Warfare here in today's video. I decided to go back and give the game a try today. I played for, I'm going to say 2 hours this afternoon, give or take. I wanted to experience the game and see what it is like now that we are roughly 4 months into the game's life cycle. I made a video a month ago. I think it's almost to the day. I'm looking at it on my second monitor here. The name of the video was, I don't play Infinite Warfare because I'm a jaded old man who hates fun, and that was posted on January 25th of 2017. So it's been almost a month since I made that video, and in that video I described how weird it is as a Call of Duty YouTuber and somebody who has so closely followed the Call of Duty series for a decade now to not know anything about the current Call of Duty game. Like, I can't name the maps in this game. I can only name a handful of weapons in this game. I can't name any of the camos in this game. There are 153 camos in this game. Did you guys know that? Because I found it out this afternoon. That was freaking insane. So I decided to go back and play today. I wanted to experience the game a little bit, see what it's like, get a bit of a refresher and stuff like that. And if anything, I was hoping maybe it would make me appreciate Modern Warfare Remastered even more. And I decided to try out a couple of things. So you guys keep telling me to try out Tactical Team Deathmatch. Those of you guys that watch my channel that do play Infinite Warfare seem to swear by Tactical Team Deathmatch, which is, if you guys don't know, a special game mode in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare that is basically old school in a way. So they remove boost jumping, right? Boost jumping is no longer going to be an aspect of that game. They readjust how you actually run around with your character. Like, I think assault rifles move much slower than submachine guns now as compared to only slightly slower. They kept wall running in there because the maps are designed to have wall running, so you're gonna need to be able to wall run in certain situations, but it doesn't really play a big role. Weapons have been rebalanced, so ones that are typically bad in the actual multiplayer itself, like the REC or the REK, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm just gonna call it the REC. That weapon apparently is pretty weak sauce in the actual multiplayer, and I can say that. I tried this afternoon. I was not having a lot of success, but apparently it's like brokenly OP in Tactical Team Deathmatch, which I could definitely agree. It's very, very good. And headshots do more damage. It's basically supposed to be like an old school style Call of Duty experience, but in Infinite Warfare. I'll say I liked it. It was actually pretty fun to experience those maps not wall running and double jumping all the time. Again, you can wall run, but it's not really a big deal. If you can double jump to get up high up on the wall, wall running is pretty much useless, right? You just don't really need it for that many situations. It was a completely different way to play the game. I was playing on maps that I played during the beta, like Throwback, I think is the name of one of them. It's like the small town, basically. It's like, it looks like a 50s town almost, that map. It plays completely differently when you don't have people running on walls and jumping up into the two-story windows and stuff like that. It's a much different game, and I thought it was a lot of fun, honestly. I wish it was not limited to Team Deathmatch. I am not the biggest fan of TDM. Like, I can deal with kill confirmed. Like, I'm fine with game modes where you need to get more kills than the other team to win. I'm perfectly okay with that. But, like, in TDM, I've always hated it because there's no incentive for you to move. Like, if you want to sit back in a building the entire game and just camp there the entire time, you can. As long as you're going positive, you're helping your team, right? And at least in kill confirmed, you have to move out of your building to confirm tags and stuff like that. I prefer objective game modes. So if this were to have come to kill confirmed or domination, I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I have to wonder, I'm sure they have these stats over at Infinity Ward, I have to wonder why they decided to not make it so it's available for more than just Team Deathmatch. Maybe there's just simply not enough people playing it. I couldn't say, but I will say I was having a good amount of fun playing Tactical Team Deathmatch. It was actually a good recommendation for those of you guys that recommended it to me. I, of course, did try to play the other game modes as well. I hopped into Ground War because that is typically where I like to play Call of Duty, and boy, oh boy, Ground War is very hectic, very, very fast-paced all the time. I feel like, and this is maybe just particular to Ground War and maybe to Domination, I feel as though Infinite Warfare it seems to really cater to that stereotypical Call of Duty player. You guys know the stereotype, and personally, I try to fight this stereotype because I don't think it's a good stereotype of gamers, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The ADD, Sugar Rush, Mountain Dew and Doritos, Call of Duty dude bro, that kind of a guy. It really seems to cater to that stereotype of a player, right? Because when I played Ground War, and this may just be Ground War, but I also noticed it a little bit in Domination, not so much in stuff like Kill Confirmed, but in Domination especially, it felt like there was really no semblance, or even like an illusion of map control. There was no illusion of it whatsoever. It felt like the game was designed from the ground up just to have chaos. Like, you have the spawn system working in conjunction with the movement mechanics of the game, and the maps that were designed from the ground up to work with those movement mechanics. It feels like the game was designed for chaos, where you are punished if you stand still just to even take a breather. Like, you want to call it a care package, which it's called a drone something. I like the care packages in this game. They're kind of cool the way they come in. But you take a moment just to even call in one of those things. Suddenly, there's just everybody swarming you. You're getting shot from the side. I feel like you constantly need to be dashing or sliding or jumping and stuff like that to be successful. And that's what you see other people doing, right? I don't want to harp on it too much because obviously it's a big part of the game, but like, just going from Modern Warfare Remastered to Infinite Warfare, and it's like, holy crap, every time I see somebody outside of Tactical Team Deathmatch, of course, their first instinct is to jump and dash. Like, that's like the first thing everybody does, and I do it too. It's what you do when you have these movement mechanics available to you. And honestly, like, as somebody who has played so much of Modern Warfare Remastered, which is a remake of an old Infinity Ward game, it's insane to me that these two games were basically made by the same studio. Now, of course, there's a lot of turnover there. There's not exactly the same people working on each game, but, you know, Infinity Ward made COD 4, Infinity Ward made Infinite Warfare, and it's like, holy freaking crap, these are from the same studio. Like, it's insane to me. It's nuts. One of the big things I noticed when I logged in today, sound in Infinite Warfare is freaking amazing. Why is Modern Warfare Remastered so bad when it comes to sound? Like, everything in Modern Warfare Remastered is muffled. I can't hear footsteps. I can barely tell what gun they have if they're shooting at me. I can't hear anything in Modern Warfare Remastered for one reason or another. When I hopped on Infinite Warfare and I was playing Tactical TDM, especially where things are a bit more slowed down, I could hear you a mile away. I could hear your weapon. I could hear your footsteps. I could hear the sound of the clip of you reloading hitting the ground. Like, the sound in Infinite Warfare is freaking amazing. I was blown away by it. Now, of course, once you get into some of the more hectic game modes, sound isn't as much of a factor. It's much more difficult to hear things, of course, but in those slower paced games like Team Deathmatch, especially Tactical Team Deathmatch, or even Ground War, where you're kind of like off to an area by yourself and there just isn't a lot of chaos around you, goodness gracious, guys, the sound in this game, you can't beat it, man. It's freaking amazing. The weaponry of Infinite Warfare, I could possibly do an entire video on the weapon variants in the game. Now, I have this written down over here on my second monitor once again, because I try to take notes here. There are so many freaking variants in this game that I don't know what's happening half of the time. And honestly, I feel as though I'm at like such a disadvantage because I'm trying to use like the base weapons. I don't have anything unlocked. I did get lucky opening. For some reason, I had 2 rare supply drops on my account as soon as I signed in. Was that like a Christmas thing? I have no idea. Like, those were just there on my account as soon as I went to the quartermaster guy. And I ended up getting the NV4 Flatline, I think it's called. It's like one of the epic variants of the NV4, which is really good. It has like unlimited range. It's like very, very powerful. And I might honestly do an entire video on why I like and dislike the weapon variant system, but part of the dislike part is I definitely felt like I was at a disadvantage. Like, I'm trying to use the Type 2, and I love the idea of the Type 2, but like, I have the base Type 2 that has like no upgrades to it whatsoever, and so I was just like getting outgunned all the time because it's weak. Like, you have to think that these weapons are balanced around the more powerful variants, right? It seems to make sense to me, so I could probably do an entire video on the weapons, but here's the thing. There are so many variants in this game. By my count, just by default, we have like roughly 35 different assault rifle variants, 25 submachine gun variants, 20 LMG ones, over 20 sniper ones, like 27 something shotgun ones. Like, there are so many variants in the game. And like I mentioned earlier, what was like 163 or 153 different camos in the game? Every time I killed somebody and I picked up their gun, 1, I didn't know what gun it was. 2, I didn't know what variant of that gun it was. 3, I had no idea what camo that was. Every single gun it felt like I picked up had a different camo on it. And to their credit, I will say some of these camos are pretty freaking cool, right? There weren't too many situations where I picked up a gun and I'm like, wow, this camo is not that interesting whatsoever. I remember complaining during the beta that the camos were so basic and lazy. Like, there was a pink camo, right? It made everything pink. That was it. It did not have any detail to it whatsoever. Just everything. It's just like, basically somebody went into Microsoft Paint and covered the entire thing pink. Like, there's no detail whatsoever. Whereas you see like the camo on the gun I'm using right now, it's fantastic looking, right? Like, they definitely worked pretty hard on these camos, I would say, to make them a little bit better. I remember seeing some backlash when they added a bunch of these camos to the game via supply drops a while back, how the camos were lazy. They said they were going to update them towards the end of January, I think it was, and maybe this is the result of that. I don't know. Again, as somebody who follows Call of Duty very closely, I know nothing of Infinite Warfare, so all this stuff is brand new to me. And I've said it before, I was envious of the people who were going to experience Modern Warfare Remastered this year for the first time, right? Because they've never played COD 4 before. They're experiencing, Crash for the first time and Strike for the first time. and all the maps of the game and the guns and everything about the game. I was jealous because I'll never be able to experience a game like Call of Duty 4 again. There's just no way. I know the game inside and out, right? Whereas Infinite Warfare, I'm sure there are people out there who love playing the game, but there are like a lot of elements of the game to them that are just mundane and boring at this point, right? They've seen all of this stuff before. They know about all the weapon variants. They know what camo that is. They know what attachment that is. They know how this kill streak works. Every time I got a kill streak out of my care package, I'm like, what does this one even do? I don't even know, you know? But I was confused by so many things today, and I did have fun, and I wasn't overly frustrated. But I will say, again, the game still feels as though to me that it caters to that stereotypical Call of Duty player. I am used to playing Modern Warfare Remastered, where it's a lot about map control and very long lines of sight and taking people out at a distance. That's not the case in Infinite Warfare whatsoever. It doesn't seem like, at least on most of the maps I play. It feels like chaos all the time. That could be a result of me not knowing the maps. It could be a result of me not knowing the game very well. When I signed in today, I was level 17, right? So I had no idea. I played a bunch during the beta, sure, but aside from that, like, I'm basing all of my knowledge of this game off of information that I got from the beta, which was like 5 months ago, right? So it was definitely a bit of a system shock going in here, but I will say I did not hate Infinite Warfare as much as I kind of thought I would going into it. And what's weird about Call of Duty as well is it's sometimes difficult to make a judgment on the game, because some people will say that they don't like a game. It might just because they're bad at that game. Like that may very well be the thing. Like somebody may say that, oh, this Call of Duty sucks. So why does that Call of Duty suck? And they usually have reasons and stuff. I think a big part of it is like, well, I just wasn't good at that game. You know, if you're having fun in a game like Infinite Warfare, chances are you're doing well in a game like Infinite Warfare. And I was leading most of the lobbies. I think there was only like 2 games in total this afternoon where I wasn't number 1 or number 2 on both teams, like in the entire lobby in general. I could do well in this game. It's so different. I'm not sure I feel as though the game itself is made for a very specific kind of player, and I'm not sure that I am the target demographic when it comes to Infinite Warfare. I'm definitely the target demographic of games like Modern Warfare Remastered, for sure. I love that style of Call of Duty game. Whereas when I look at Infinite Warfare, and I still stick to my guns, it doesn't feel like a Call of Duty game at times. At times, it's like, this feels like a very polished shooter game, sure, but it doesn't quite feel like a Call of Duty game to me, because it is so different. Again, that entire contrast between, you know, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare Remastered, and then looking at Infinite Warfare, it's like, this was made by the same studio, like, sure, 10 years apart, but still, like, the same studio put this together, because they are so day and night different that one is very clearly a Call of Duty game, whereas the other one's like, I have freaking no idea what's happening here. So those are my first impressions. Coming back to Infinite Warfare, this is a return to Infinite Warfare. Typically, when I do these return to videos, it's like a live commentary where I just like go through and talk about things live. But I figured it would be much better for me and for you guys as the audience, for me to actually just play the game, not be recording myself live or anything like that, and just allow me to soak in the game a bit and not make any split judgments and stuff like that. Like, I was taking down notes as I was playing. Like, for example, as soon as I signed in, I love the daily activity bonus. Why don't we have that in Modern Warfare Remastered? That needs to happen. But yeah, I was taking down notes like as I was playing. Like, I was playing the match, and like I would hear this guy's footsteps, and I was able to kill him. I like quickly just stopped what I was doing. I'm like, sound is freaking incredible in this game. Like, writing down notes, just trying to get a feel for this game and trying to make like a good video for you guys, letting you guys know my first impressions basically of the game. It's so weird. Like, so many YouTubers, I'm sure, were making their first impressions of Infinite Warfare when it came out, and I did back during the beta. I did 2 videos actually, the good and the bad. They're both their own separate thing. And a lot of things I like about the game I still like. A lot of things I dislike about the game I still dislike. But it's a fun experience to go to now, because it's not. We know it's the last one. There's something about knowing that this is the last, like, super futuristic game, at least for 1 year, there's something about that, right? Like, you might as well just soak it in now, because this may be the last, you know, super futuristic advanced movement Call of Duty game. We don't know. I mean, COD 2017, we know is boots on the ground. We don't know anything about it aside from that, but this could be the last one. All the other Call of Duty games for, you know, 5 straight years could all be like World War II, Vietnam, and modern, right? It could very well be the case. This might be the last futuristic, you know, advanced combat Call of Duty game. And when you think of it that way, it's like, huh, let's soak this in, you know. But at the same time, I do enjoy the Call of Duty series, and I do like the core Call of Duty mechanics of, you know, shoot, gun, get kill streak, you know, level up, cap flags, win games, and stuff like that. And this game does have that. And so from a design perspective, it's fun to play it in that way. Like, I like picking up all these guns because, again, I don't know what half of them do, and they all have like all these crazy variants and stuff like that. So whenever I pick up a gun, it's like, this thing's fun, and I get annoyed when I die. Like, I have that written down here in my notes. Like, I got annoyed every time I died because I would pick up a gun that was fun, like I'm gonna call it the UMP-485. It's called like the Tactev or Macrev. I have no idea. The UMP-485, whatever they call it, the Silk McTavish name. I think it's like MacTev or something like that. 45, and I loved using it. It's like, this is the UMP-485. I want this, but I have to prestige to get it. But I want to use this thing, you know. And so I'm using it. I'm going on kill streaks with it. Then I die. It's like, no, I want that gun back, you know. Or the Volk, which is like a futuristic laser-looking AK-47 almost. Like, I was picking that thing up. It was an epic variant. I know that much. And I was having a lot of fun with it. But then I died with it. It's like, no, I want that gun back. Like, there's so much still for me to experience in this game, and that kind of makes me want to play it more, to be perfectly honest. Like, right now, I think in total I have like 4 hours of game time in Infinite Warfare as a whole, and part of me wants to continue playing a little bit. So maybe we'll play some more Infinite Warfare. I don't know what to do with videos for Infinite Warfare, honestly, because I feel as though I am so far out of the loop that it's like, I can't make videos on it, right? Can't I'm like, hey guys, check out this class setup I came up with. You guys be like, yeah, I mean, you know, X-YouTuber talked about that back in November, right? It's like, you know, how do I win in that situation? How can I make interesting videos? Because everything's new to me. I don't know what's going on in the game, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But yeah, I played Infinite Warfare this afternoon. It was not a terrible experience. I wouldn't say it was the most amazing game ever, but I had a pretty good time in a couple of the matches, and it was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I like Tactical TDM. I wish there was like Tactical Dom or Tactical Kill Confirmed. That'd be a lot of fun. But overall, Infinite Warfare, not so bad. And also, the daily login bonus. Why have I not been utilizing that? Like, I knew eventually I was going to come back to the game, right? I knew eventually I was going to come and play it. I didn't think it would take me 4 months, but it did. And I kind of wish this entire time I was like just signing in every day to collect my daily activity bonus and then sign back out. You know, even if I wasn't going to play, just let all of those keys accumulate. So when I got on today, I opened up a bunch of supply drops. I get a bunch of variants and stuff like that because there's so much I want to unlock and try out in the game. Like the Ripper, for example, is what I would really like to play around with. But I can't do that because I'm not going to spend money on the game for sure. I'm not even sure if I want to buy the DLC, honestly. I'm not even sure because I don't think I'm going to play it that much. It just seems like it'd be a waste of money. I would like to see what Afghan looks like, but it seems like a waste of money. I'm not going to play the game that much. So I don't want to spend, you know, money on the game, but part of me does want to, you know, unlock these weapons and stuff, which involves a bit more of a time investment, but I could already have them probably if I just simply would have logged in every day and got my daily activity bonus. But still, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts. I returned to Infinite Warfare today. It was not terrible. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible. It was a solidly all right afternoon. Now, I'd love to hear down there in the comments, have you guys been playing Infinite Warfare? If you do play Infinite Warfare, what is your favorite way to play it? And have you considered, if you're a hardcore Modern Warfare Remastered guy like myself, have you considered going back to play Infinite Warfare for a little bit just to see what has changed since the launch? Because I know for me, that was the big drawing point, right? For me, it was like, let's go back and see what has changed. It's been 4 months, right? The game's got to be different, at least to some extent, right? Let's see if it's better than it was at launch, and it's a little bit better. I would definitely say it's a little bit better. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys will enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.